Hey 700 Club Interactive audience, Emmy here with 700 Club Interactive Social Media, and I bet you already recognize the person I'm sitting next to, Jentezen Franklin. Thank you
So good to be here.
us.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be with you.
He just wrote this really awesome book, Love Like You've Never Been Hurt, and it is a must read. I must say it's a little tough to get through for those of us who have been hurt by other people, which I think is really everyone.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to write this book.
Yeah, you know, my wife, actually, it's the first book my wife and I have ever written together. I decided not to write a book for the last 4 years. I'd written a bunch of books and just kind of got burned out. And then about 9 years ago, we went through something in our family that I never dreamed would come to my family, my home. I had seen it happen to others, but I somehow was in a fantasy world of thinking that pain and hurt and brokenness and just the devastation of sin, what it can do to people's lives and families. And it hit our family, came through, you know, one of my kids going off to college and same old story, living the party life, going deeper than she wanted to go. And we brought her home and thought it would get better, and it actually got worse. And then, you know, we had the dynamic of our family. We had 2 other of her siblings that began to struggle. And I know people are listening to this right now. You may be going through it. I know what it's like. We went through a 3-year, and we decided we're not going to put up a ministerial front. You know, sometimes people see people on TV or see them in a pulpit and they think, oh, they just got the perfect life. I can't even relate to those people. Look at them. They're up there in church. And the deal is we go through the same things you go through, and sometimes even more, because I believe the enemy probably targets us, smite the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. And we went through this episode in our life for 3 years that we felt like we couldn't get out, and I didn't know where to turn to. I didn't know what to do. I became angry and bitter, and it affected our marriage. It affected every aspect of our relationship with we have 5 children. All the siblings started, you know, resenting one another. And I'll never forget one of the most moving things. I hope I'm not talking too much.
No.
But one of my daughters said to her sister when she was really upset with her, because she just wouldn't seem to get her act together, so to speak. And she said, she was crying, and she said, I hate what you've done to our daddy. You changed him. He used to be fun. He used to be happy. He used to be daddy, and you changed our daddy. And when that happened, that's when, you know, I knew something's going. This isn't just about her or her or her. This is about what's happening to me. I'm offended. I'm hurt. And I got to learn to love like I've never been hurt. And that's why I wrote the book. That's why my wife and I wrote the book, because we said things we shouldn't. Our tongues were out of control, and fits of anger and bitterness. And, you know, the word nitro or nitroglycerin, if you look it up, it has 2 strange definitions. It says a substance used that can blow up bridges. And in the same sentence, it says, or it can heal hearts. Because if you have a heart attack, they'll give you a nitro.
Wow.
They'll give you a nitro pill. So your tongues, your words can either blow up the bridge of relationship, calling each other names, screaming, giving them as good as you send it, or your words can heal hurting hearts. The power of death and life is in the tongue. And so these are some things that we began to walk through, you know, and just begin to, and we had to get help, and we had to, and you know, we just decided with this book, we're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, lay it all out there. The great news is that daughter, this was 9 years ago, God in His mercy. I want to tell somebody, God will never define you by your worst mistake. And He didn't my daughter. He didn't me. He didn't you.
Yeah.
And you might have made a mistake, but you're not a mistake. Your child might have failed, but they're not a failure. You as a parent might have done something really, really stupid, but God will never define you by your worst mistake. And so now she's in full-time ministry with her husband.
Wow.
And at a large church in Atlanta. And it's just amazing how that God can take what's left. See, He's not just God of what you've got and what you lost, but He's God of what you have left. Give Him what's left and He'll heal it.
Wow, amen. Thank you for your vulnerability. I feel deeply moved right now. I know many of you watching right now, I see your comments as they come in. You're deeply moved too, and you have prayer requests. Would you mind just continuing to minister really and just pray over our audience and those who
I would love to.
going through very similar things?
Well, you're not alone. And I tell people, first of all, if you're going through stuff, you need Jesus. You need Him. You need to know the house is built on the rock. It's not that, but here's what I tell people. Everything's better with Jesus, including trouble. And you're going to go through trouble. You're just going to go through it with or without Him. I choose to go through it with Him, because if I go through it with Him, He'll get me through. And He'll come walking. He's the water walker. He'll come walking on the storm. And Lord, I just pray for every family. I pray for every conflict. I pray for every marriage in distress. I pray for every home that has become a war zone. I pray for every child that is addicted. I pray for every prodigal that is away. I pray for the parents who are estranged from their own children. I pray you turn the hearts of the children to the fathers and the hearts of the fathers back to the children, and that you would heal homes, restore families, and heal broken hearts. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I really encourage people to get this book, not because I need to sell another book, but I do believe that what we share in this is from God, a message that is on time right now that people need to hear. And don't let the bitterness get infected more and more and more, but open up and restart your heart and love like you've never been hurt. They can get it on Amazon or bookstores, wherever.
Amen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing with us. Like you said, you can buy this anywhere books are sold, and I really hope you pick it up and check it out, because it is definitely worth the read.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless
Thank
you.
you.
And bless you. See you guys next time.